changes breeds creativity. Welcome to the Abyss Garden. Today is a bit of a special video. So, inspired by a few others HTCG creators, I'm gonna go through a tiny roadmap for 2025 on what's gonna happen for Mind Worlds, this tiny TCG that I created last September. I created it for my partner's birthday, and it's based on psychological theories. So this video is a bit different in the sense that usually I script what I'm gonna say, because basically I'm not a native English speaker, and it's way easier to read from a script than to kind of try to talk fluently. So there's probably gonna be quite a few pauses and some paper noise. I'm sorry in advance. But so basically I'm gonna talk about what's gonna happen this year for Mind Worlds. So the first item on our list is the second set of Mind Worlds. So last November, the first set came out. It was based on Plutchik's Wheel. And for this year, the second set is gonna arrive on May the 1st. So the idea is to have 2 sets every year of 80 cards. So one in May and one in November. For this second set, we kind of settled. We had a few different options as far as which theory to use, but we settled on the 4 sides model. If you're interested, you can simply look it up. It's not a complicated theory. It basically touches on communications between people and the different kind of informations we receive and we send as we communicate. And so for this second set, we already did most of the art and all the mechanics for the set. But so we could consider that we are quite in advance. But the thing is that we are still gonna have to do some play testing and some beta testing. So probably we are gonna be done with it 1 or 2 months before the release, in order to leave us some leeway and some room to do some games and some playtesting, to be able to do some last changes. So I guess I'm gonna show you a few of the doodles that I personally made for the set. So if you're interested in them, you can find most of them on my DeviantArt page, but here I'm just gonna show you a few of them. So for the first set, each card, I'm gonna start with that. Each card in Mind Worlds has embodies an emotion and has a type of creature. And so in the first set, for my partner's doodles, a lot of them were fluffs and some cosmic creatures. And so for this set, I tried to also get into that. So the idea is that I can't really copy her way of drawing, but I made my own interpretation of these types of these creatures. So here we have a tiny fluff and a baby one. And I feel like I'm quite happy with how my doodles evolved. So I've always been using simply a simple black pen to do all my doodles. And I use this simple booklets, which is a really cheap paper. It's not a thick paper, it's basically something to just take notes. But since I only use this, it's kind of the best choice for me. I can bring it wherever I want and just doodle on it. But lately, I have also been using a pencil. I'm never sure which one is which. But basically, whether it's a pen or a pencil, I began to use this to prepare the doodle before I finish with the black ink, and I feel like it drastically improved my line work and the things I can doodle. You know, it's nothing incredible, like most people who draw usually do that, but it took me a while to get to it. So here we have a tiny sun doing some new things that appear in the second set. Because basically, most of the doodles, I base them on the card and on the mechanics. So they usually embody what what the card does. I try to have the doodles embody what the card does. So here, for example, we have a slug. That's, I'm guessing, so here we have a fluff, the slug, so I'm guessing that the card is, I don't know them by heart, that the slug will copy the effect of a chill card. I think that's what this one does. I can check later. You can also see on the website. They have the numbers here, and the cards for the second set, without the art, just the mechanics, are already on the website. The website, which is mind-worlds.ch. It's probably going to be in the description if you're curious. Also, that's a cosmic type. So, as I expressed before, my partner did all of the cosmic creatures for the first set, and so I tried my hand on doing that, and I created these kind of cosmic whale creatures. And so yeah, you have all of these tiny doodles, some flames, etc. Seems like the camera has some issues focusing. Oh. Sorry for the noise. So that's the first thing that's going to happen in 2025. We are already quite far into it, but still we are gonna keep the release date, and we are gonna try to have the playtesting on time. Next item for 2025 is a design update. So I'm gonna be a bit honest. For the first set, since I already set a date for when I wanted it to be released. Something that I encourage you to do, because it really forces you to push a product out, and it forces you to finish something, to finish the things you want to do. So I really advise that you put on hard-wired dates. Not sure how to explain that. Yeah, just to set a date and to really work with that, and to not allow yourself to go beyond it. And so as I did that, I when I did the designs of the packaging, etc., I didn't have that much time to experiment. So I went on I basically had a few days to come up with something that I liked. And so since now we had more time with my partner, we had some unofficial meeting, and we redesigned a bit of the cards, and the packagings. So it's not really a redesign of the card themselves, but more of the doodles. So I'm going to show you how the cards look for the moment. So here we have a booster of amazement, and we have a few of the cards. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to show an image on the right of how the cards are going to look. So here we have a tiny fluff, deep meditation. We have another one. Oh. We have altered memories. That should also appear on the right with its new updated design. So we didn't change any of the effects of the cards, any of the hard rules of the game, but we just changed how they look slightly, so that the doodle would pop a bit more when we play the game. Here you have long lost memories. If I remember, this one is really nice with the new design. Also one that's super nice is this one, Daydream Journey. So yeah, that's a simple redesign that we did for the game. And something else is that we also redesigned the packages. So the packages look like, for the boosters at least, they look like that for the moment. So some information on the bottom, top and bottom. We have this icon. We have 2 examples of cards, and inside we have the rules. So I guess I'm again going to show you some stuff on the side. But basically, the rules, we really wanted that, to have the rules inside of these boosters. Because I feel like it's quite important to have them with you whenever you play. Because they're not complicated, but there are some stuff that you need to know to be able to set the game. And to be honest, it's not the best looking rule book in a sense. And there are some informations that are not necessary. So what I did in the last few weeks, I reworked it, So I added some doodles, I made it a bit more interesting, removed the things that were unnecessary, and tried to be as clear as possible in the rules. So I might show some stuff on the right. And also, these have changed. So all of these changes are only gonna appear with the second set. As we push out the second set, all these changes will occur for all of the boosters, decks, etc. So I'm gonna show you some examples of what I mean. I'm gonna put this on the side, and I'm gonna take this. So basically for each emotion, each group of emotion, so here, amazement, I took the different types, the different creatures that exist in this group of cards, and I made a tiny scene with them. So here, for example, the 3 types of amazement, I'm gonna show you. We have the cosmic ones, like this whale. We have the wizards. And finally, we have the craftsmen, which are they each represent a level of the emotion. So the craftsmen are the most intense level, amazement. Then the wizards are slightly lower, they're surprise. And the lowest, the cosmic, are just distraction. And so I created, I doodled tiny scenes that represented these 3 types. So the craftsman, the wizard, and some cosmic whale. And so that's a bit more simple. We wanted to make them feel, these packages, a bit more simple and a bit more handmade in a sense. So this will be replaced by this. I'm probably gonna once again show it on the screen. And so I did that for all of the boosters. So here you have the doodle for grief, a tiny scene with the 3 types of grief. You also have the one, this one I really like. You have the one for, if I manage to turn pages, the one for loathing, with the blobs, the cryptic, and the serpent. And we also did that, if I look forward, we also did that for the decks. So here you have the tiny scene for Stun Glee, which is a deck with 2 colors, blue and yellow. So yellow is the ecstasy, joy emotion, and blue is this one, amazement. And so same idea, I took some of the characters, some of the types, and made a tiny scene with them. So here we have the craftsman, some suns, and some plants. And basically I already did that for all the existing decks. Here we have Attentive Gloom, the deck. And I'm quite happy with it. I feel like most of them turned out quite good. I mean, you know, I guess depends on your taste. So that's the idea behind all these changes. A tiny design update to make the game feel more handmade, handcrafted, and also more simple to use, more simple to play with. Next item. It's something that we thought about. We didn't do it for the first set, obviously. Also because we have literally 0 contact with any HTCG creators or people who open boosters. But something that we would really like to do is since before the release of the second set, we are gonna have like 2 months to playtest. We thought that it might be fun to send some of the new products for free to some creators for unboxing purposes and for reviews. So that's something that's on our mind. We are not exactly sure how we are gonna do it, but yeah, that's one of the plans. If it doesn't happen for the second set, we will try to make it happen for the third, etc, etc. So it's a simple item. Next, and close to last, is Doodle Bounty. So here the idea, we already had this idea a few months back, but for the moment we didn't. I'm guessing I will have to create some things on the website so that it's easier. But the idea would be that anyone willing would be able to add one of their doodle to one of the cards. If you go to the website now, mind-worlds.ch, you're gonna see that for the second set, you see all the cards with all the mechanics without the art. And so the idea would be that anybody that would want it could suggest one of their doodle to appear in one of the cards. And then we would vote with my partner for which doodle we prefer to be on the card. And then if the person gets voted up, we would create the card with its doodle and the name that the person wants underneath. And we feel like it's kind of a nice touch, because also since we are anyway 2 people already who are doodling for the cards, so anyway the art is not is slightly different. They are not the same style. So here on the left you have my partner's doodle, a nice cosmic whale, and on the right you have one of mine. And yeah, they are not the same style. They are made to feel a bit similar, since we make it so it's black and white, and the black is kind of a hard, I'm not sure how to explain that, but it has strong borders to try to kind of mix, to make it so different styles still work together, like for this tiny fluff. So yeah, that's the idea behind the Doodle Bounty. I'm gonna say it now, but I would be really interested if you have any opinion about these different things, especially the Doodle Bounty, if it's something that people would be interested in, if it's something that would actually be fun for people to do, to have one of their doodle in a random card of Mind Worlds. I'm guessing that what we would have as a requirement would simply be to follow the type. For example, here, if this card didn't have any art and someone would want to have their doodle on the card, the only requirement would be to have an interpretation of a craftsman. No further requirements besides probably for it to be black and white, so we can work with it. But yeah, I kind of like this idea. And finally, the last item on our list is the second set of the year, because we talked about the 4 sides model, which is gonna be the set for the 1st of May. But in November, we are gonna have the second set of the year, which will be the 3rd in total. We discussed it a bit. For the moment, we didn't set ourselves on a specific theory. But something that's gonna happen for sure, something that we discussed, is the apparition of new emotions. So the initial set, and what the game is based on, is Plutchik's Wheel, which is this, where you have these 8 emotions with different intensities. Oh, the focus is a bit off sometimes, I'm sorry. But basically, in the theory that Plutchik created, it goes a bit deeper, where you have these main emotions, but in between them, if you read the documentation, there's also a simple PDF on the website that gives you some further information about the theory. There's basically different emotions that are mixes of these primary ones. And so the idea for this 3rd set is to introduce some new emotions. So I wrote down a few examples here. One of them, it doesn't really focus, I'm sorry. So one of them is love, which is a mix between joy and trust. So you would have probably not a lot of cards, but we would create a few cards for these new emotions. So one for love. Another example would be alarm, the feeling of being alarmed, which is between fear and surprise. And the third one that I wrote down is remorse, which is between sadness and grief, sadness and disgust. And so it would be mechanically quite interesting, because the game plays a lot on what kind of emotions are in the mind. And so these unique emotions, since they are kind of, for example, for love, it would be a mix of joy and trust. So they would be the two colors. And so these kind of cards would be really useful in either in decks that combine these colors. So we are going to see how it ends up mechanically. But we are quite excited about it. For the moment we are obviously focusing on the second set, on the 4 sides model. But yeah, that's pretty much all there is. So I hope you first of all, I hope it wasn't too long. And then I hope you enjoy this tiny dive into what's the plan for Mind Worlds in 2025. Once again, if you have any ideas, any suggestion, any opinion on these different things, especially for the Doodle Bounties and the reviews, if you have any ideas for that, we would be really happy to hear / read about them. In the meantime, I wish you a great day, and I'll see you later.